It's official, Aston Martin will race the Valkyrie Hypercar in the WEC and IMSA in 2025. This also marks Aston's return to fighting for overall victories at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Viewers, I'm delighted to say that the rumors have come true. Aston Martin is back in prototype endurance racing. Aston Martin will become the 13th manufacturer to build either around the LMH or LMDH regulations. Aston will bring a race variant of the Valkyrie Hypercar to endurance racing and enter it under the Le Mans Hypercar regulations, becoming the 7th different manufacturer to enter an LMH. The Valkyrie LMH will use a modified engine from its road car counterpart. The engine will be a massive 6.5-liter naturally aspirated Cosworth V12, marking the first ever V12 hypercar to enter either of these categories. The Valkyrie race entry will not have a hybrid system, so they will join Glickenhaus and Vanwall as the only manufacturers to not have a hybrid component. Aston's Le Mans Hypercar will still have Multimatic Motorsports as a key collaborator on the project. This in fact was the same manufacturer that helped develop the original AMR Pro. When speaking with motorsport.com, Adam Carter, the new lead of Aston Martin's endurance side of motorsport, stated that the Valkyrie LMH is expected to hit the track early next year for some initial testing. Another interesting fact about the Valkyrie LMH is that it is currently the only hypercar that can trace its roots to an original road car design. Aston Martin's hypercar is derived from the road version of the Valkyrie, which is a production hypercar meant for the road that is Aston Martin's fastest ever car they have built. This is another reason why Aston Martin wanted to go with the LMH regulations. A Le Mans hypercar can be based from a production hypercar meant for the road, whereas in the LMDH regulations, you're not allowed to do so. So it works good for Aston to use the LMH regulations, since they are set on using a race variant of the Valkyrie. With Aston Martin joining in 2025, this means we will see the first British manufacturer enter Hypercar or GTP. And also, because Aston Martin is building around the Le Mans Hypercar regulations, this means that they will be the first manufacturer to enter an LMH in the GTP class, as so far every entry in GTP is based around the LMDH regulations. Now, I do want to mention that this is not the first time that we've seen the Valkyrie LMH entered into endurance racing, as back in 2019, Aston Martin was one of the first manufacturers to confirm an LMH entry. Aston Martin was set to start racing in the hypercar class in 2021, but later it was announced that Aston Martin would postpone the project as they would focus all their activities on joining Formula One. As time passed, the project was presumed abandoned, but a few weeks prior to posting this video, rumors surfaced first from Daily Sports Car, then from Autosport.com, that Aston Martin was seeking to revive the Valkyrie LMH project, and we were weeks away from an official announcement. And of course, all those rumors became true. In an interview with Lawrence Stroll, executive chairman of Aston Martin, he stated that they are aiming to write new history and bring Aston Martin back to the top level of endurance racing. Performance is the lifeblood of everything that we do at Aston Martin, and motorsport is the ultimate expression of this pursuit of excellence. We have been present at Le Mans since the earliest days, and through those glorious endeavors, we succeeded in winning Le Mans in 1959 and our class 19 times over the past 95 years. Now we return to the scene of those first triumphs, aiming to write new history with a racing prototype inspired by the fastest production car Aston Martin has ever built. The team that will be running the Hypercar and GTP entries will be Heart of Racing, and while this is a privately funded project from them, it will still be an Aston Martin factory-backed effort. Heart of Racing is already a customer brand running Aston Martin entries, as the US-based squad has been running in the GTD Pro and GTD classes of IMSA, and won the 2023 Rolex 24 in the GTD class. For 2023, the team also branched into the World Endurance Championship, racing in the GTEM class and running the number 98 Northwest Racing entry. Heart of Racing is set to run at least one Valkyrie LMH in both IMSA and the WEC, kind of like what Lamborghini is doing with Iron Lynx and the SC63. However, there is still the possibility that Aston Martin has two full-time entries in both the WEC and IMSA, although that's just a rumor at this point. I think the most realistic option for them is to have one car each in WEC and IMSA and have two, maybe even three at big events such as the 24 Hours of Le Mans and the Rolex 24 at Daytona. If Aston Martin goes to Le Mans and wins overall, the interesting thing is this would not be their first victory. In the 1950s, Aston Martin tried for years to take victory in the prestigious 24-hour endurance race, but during that time they never achieved it, even coming as close as finishing second overall, one lap behind the winning Jaguar in 1956 with the Aston Martin DB3S. But finally, in 1959, Aston Martin's beautiful DBR1 took victory, and a dominant one as well, taking first and second for the British manufacturer, 25 laps ahead of the nearest Ferrari in third position. After 1959, Aston Martin returned more than once to fight for overall victory in the top category of Le Mans, racing in the Group C era and in the LMP1 era, most recently in 2011 with ProDrive. But after a 14-year break from prototype endurance racing, Aston Martin will return to the top category of Le Mans and challenge the likes of Toyota, Ferrari, Porsche, and more for overall honors in 2025. Speaking of their competition, let's take a look at who they're up against. In IMSA, Aston Martin will be competing alongside Porsche, BMW, Acura, Cadillac, and Lamborghini. As for the WEC, Aston Martin will be competing with Toyota, Porsche, Ferrari, Peugeot, Cadillac, BMW, Alpine, Lamborghini, Isotta Fraschini, potentially Van Wall, maybe Glickenhaus if they stay on in the WEC, and there's a possibility that Honda Acura come over to the World Endurance Championship in 2025. So with Aston Martin competing in 2025, at the classic 24 Hours of Le Mans, we may see over 30 hypercars participating at the event. Just incredible if that happens. So finally, Aston Martin will enter Hypercar and GTP in 2025. Are you excited to see the Valkyrie LMH compete in endurance racing? Let me know all your thoughts on this exciting news down in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos related to Aston Martin and their LMH and more WEC and IMSA content, make sure to subscribe to the left. Also, check out one of the suggested videos I put to the right of your screen. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.